the programme. What's the anticipation like in Washington ahead of this speech?
Well, there's been kind of a 24-hour build-up here in America's capital for this. We had an off-the-record background call, us reporters, yesterday from the White House about what was expected to be said today by President Donald Trump. Also, we know that the president has been calling up leaders in the Middle East to kind of preview the announcement that he's going to make in just a short time here in Washington, D.C. So certainly the anticipation is building, but we're pretty sure we know what he is going to say. We heard from him, in fact, just a few moments ago during a cabinet meeting at the White House. He gave a brief few remarks to the press. He said that he was going to make a statement that had been long overdue, and that, we believe, is that he is going to declare Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and start the moves to move the US Embassy from Tel Aviv, where it currently is, to the city of Jerusalem.
Do Americans care? What does that mean for them?
Well, certainly a lot of Americans do care very much, because it was one of the key campaign promises that Donald Trump made on his campaign trail to become president. It appeals to a lot of right-wing voters here in the United States, certainly the Jewish lobby, the Jewish voters here, and the evangelical Christians also want to see this declaration. So for maybe the non-religious man in the street, it is perhaps not that bothersome, but certainly for a large number of Donald Trump's base, and that is who he is always trying to appeal to, it is a very important move indeed. I think other Americans are, though, perhaps concerned by this, because they see it as a kind of reversal of American foreign policy over several decades, and they may well be concerned with all these other countries and even the Pope coming out to say that they believe it is a bad idea. So certainly there will be some concerned Americans as well as those who are very happy about this announcement.
What are the politicians saying across both sides over this issue? I would imagine the Democrats had a policy position, which he's now going another direction, but I'm sure that there's some Republicans also that are not happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there are some that are happy. And this move for the embassy to move to Jerusalem is, in fact, already enshrined in US law. And in fact, the president currently signs a waiver every 6 months to stop it from happening due to national security concerns. So there certainly has been bipartisan support for this move. However, for the last 20 years or so, consecutive administrations have realized that this is perhaps to their minds not an ideal move in terms of security, so this has not happened. But certainly there is some support, but most politicians here not in favour of this. Clearly, Donald Trump's cabinet, his advisers are all saying they support it, including Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, who has been asked about it several times. He's at a NATO meeting at the moment, and his NATO counterparts from other countries have all been raising their concerns about it. He has been saying that he stands by Donald Trump and that this is a positive move for the Middle East peace process. He has been reassuring them that it still remains a key goal of the Trump administration.
And this Trump administration is fully prepared for the fallout, which inevitably will come, and it probably will be significant.
I'm not sure whether you could say they are fully prepared. It's very hard to know. A lot of commentators here suggest that Donald Trump really hasn't thought this through, and he is acting purely on ideological belief. And from a political standpoint, his approval ratings are low. A poll out yesterday put them at just 35%. He's desperate to reignite his base, and this move will appeal to them. So a lot of people are suggesting that perhaps he's just doing this not necessarily on a whim, but without really thinking it through fully, and certainly not listening to advice from other countries, including his allies, American allies in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia and Jordan. The leaders of both of those countries have said that this is a very bad idea, but he's continuing to press on with it ahead. It is another example, perhaps, of Donald Trump liking to stand out from the crowd, liking to do things that other people have told him not to do, and also another example of the US isolating itself on the international stage under Donald Trump.
All right, Kate, we're going to have to leave it there for the time being. That's Katie Fisher speaking to us from the US capital, Washington, ahead of that all-important speech around the future of Jerusalem. Is it going to be recognized by the Americans as the capital city of Israel?